Hey everyone, welcome back to another review of Married at First Sight. This is season 13, episode 8. As always, it's your boy Big James, the Big Eyed himself. The title of this episode is Family, Friends, and Feelings, oh my. This episode was revealing what we already knew anyway, that none of these couples are going to make it. It was about the housewarming, and it was just silly the whole way around. Like I had already said on the first episode, none of these guys are gonna make it, and it's obvious none of these guys are gonna make it. We're gonna go couple by couple, not scene by scene. I just think that's easier. Some of the scenes when they do all stuff together might get confusing, but I'll try to keep it clean for y'all. Let's get started. We're gonna start with Jose and Rachel. They were the first couple. They started out buying plants, and basically all the plants Rachel wanted, Jose didn't want. He always had a reason, and you can see it was getting on Rachel's nerves because Jose has everything planned out, and if it's not according to his plan, he don't want to do it. And she brought it up later at the housewarming where, he's been planning marriage for years. He wants it to go like this. He wants to do this. He wants to do that. He has the whole house situation, the kid situation. He has everything planned out already. And Rachel was like, listen, I only started thinking about getting married a few months ago, like in the last year. But for Jose, it's something he's been planning for a long time. They have the housewarming, and they bring the guests over, and Jose is just embarrassing. I felt bad for Rachel this episode because he's embarrassing. All he does, he's like, I don't want to toot my own horn. Like, I understand people saying that. I don't want to toot my own horn, but like toot toot. That's not what Jose does. Jose says, I want to toot my own horn, and he brings in a fucking Mardi Gras marching band. He talks about how much money he has, how many houses he done bought. He brings out the fucking whiteboard with all his budget and credit score on. And you can see poor Rachel. She is just embarrassed that he's doing this, and he doesn't even notice it. And he's had a little bit to drink. They've been drinking, and it's like, oh my God, like he is very proud of his financial situation, and he wants everyone to know about his finances. And I don't think he catches on that nobody cares. Like his dad, I don't think paid him any attention. And just like his dad was embarrassed too. And his stepmom told Rachel, like, don't combine your money. Get separate accounts. Don't get a joint account. She said, you got to be ready to go. Because I don't think none of his family think this is going to work. None of them. They think he's the problem. His dad, his stepmom, they're like, God be with you, Rachel. Because Jose is a lot. In finances, Rachel wants to take trips, and Jose doesn't. Jose wants to just save and prepare and save and prepare, and Rachel wants to use. And like Jose's stepmom is like, yeah, use the money. There's no point in just keeping it all the time and never use it. So I think they're going to always have problems in that area, and it ain't going to work. Because I don't think, it's not that Jose doesn't listen to her. He doesn't care what she has to say or what she thinks. And he's polite about it. He's not rudely dismissing her. He's not rudely cutting her off. But he clearly doesn't give a damn what she has to say or think or feel. He doesn't care about her money because he doesn't think she has any money. And she does. She just spends it. There's a difference between not having money and having money. And she has money. She just spends it. And she gets some more money. She spends it. Whereas he just saves, or he plans and he invests and he has all this stuff that he wants to go on, and she's not doing that. She's just, whatever comes. Whatever I want to do, I'm going to go do. She's not planning out stuff. And that's going to be a big issue with those two. Our next couple is Michaela and Zack. Zack is fucking done. I mean, he done. Zack don't want shit to do with this no more. He's done with Rachel. He was telling his friend, about her blowing up. And then she canceled the housewarming party. She said she doesn't want to do it, because of the argument they had and where they're at right now. And he was like, okay. But remember, the thing is, though, she doesn't run for problems. She confronts it and she deals with it. But she's just running now, and she is blowing up. Because apparently he said that on the phone, he talked to her. She said, yeah, let's do it. I want to do the housewarming party and meet your friends and family. And then she called right back and said, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it no more. So he was like, okay. And his friend is like, that's not good, but y'all don't know each other. Which is true. They didn't even spend the honeymoon together. This is like they've just been spending the past couple of days together. They don't know each other. Give them that. But Zack says, I've had experience with girls that do this before, and it doesn't work out, and I don't want to do it again. And he has that right. If he doesn't want to deal with somebody that blows up or changes their mind, flip-flop, go from 0 to 100 instantly, he doesn't have to put up with that. And through this old episode, where you saw him and Michaela interacting, he was clearly afraid of her. Because he didn't know how she was going to act, how she was going to respond, and what she was going to do. So he always kept like distance between her. He didn't really want to make eye contact and talk to her. He was clearly like scared of what she might do, or what she might say, or how she's going to react. And that's no way to be in any kind of relationship, let alone a marriage. So later on, her friends come by and she says, oh, we're doing the housewarming. And that freaks Zack out. Like, wait a minute, you just said, like, this morning we're not doing it. Then you sent a text to everybody saying you are doing it. And he's like, that's not cool either. He doesn't like that she keeps going back and forth. Like, she doesn't know what she wants to do. She keeps going from here to here, here to here. She's cool, and then she's exploding. And he's just like, he don't want anything to do with that. And she apologizes, and he doesn't care about her apology. He does not. He's like, okay, I acknowledge you apologize. I don't care. It doesn't change how I feel or how I think or how this is going to go. And he told her, like, it's going to take time, and it is. And Michaela is crying, and Zack didn't give a fuck. And she is unhinged. Completely unhinged. When he met her friends at the housewarming, they're trying to explain to him how she's sane. Who the fuck friends try to convince you that their friend isn't crazy? They're like, well, it takes time, you're used to it. It's like, is she crazy or not? Oh, no. She's only mildly a lunatic. And Zack is done. Zack was completely checked out. He don't want that shit to do with her or this show or any of it no more. And I don't know if he's going to stick with it just to see how it goes, but you can look at his face, his body language, and the things he was saying, that he was done. He was just like, whatever. This whole thing is done. He's like, I've done this before, and I'm not doing it again. If you can't keep control over yourself and your feelings and your emotions, I don't want to have anything to do with you. And he can be like that. He doesn't have to put up with that. So what is this shit? And you saw they had a big meeting. The girls went out to eat and the guys went out to eat. And Michaela doesn't want to talk about the fact that they had a fight. She doesn't want anybody to know that they slept together. She doesn't want anybody to know anything. Michaela is keeping everything close to her. She doesn't want anybody to know what's going on. Whereas Zack is the opposite. He's not going into detail, but he's letting people know that we're having problems. So that's going to be an issue. The fact that he's open and that she's closed off. But she's closed off probably because if she did tell, it will make her look bad. And she doesn't want to do that. So I can get that, and I can get Zack, it's over with. And then at the end, she's talking to him. She's like, what do you want me to do? And he's like, you ain't got to do shit. He's like, I apologize. He's like, okay. But it's not over because I don't know what to do with that. Like, where do you, like, with the fact that that's a possibility of something that can happen, I don't know where to go and what to do. So I'm on Zack's side with that. He doesn't have to put up with that if he doesn't want to. Our next couple is Mirla and Gil. They were talking about finances and money. I guess Pastor Cal told him to get the finances thing out of the way. So Mirla shows him her savings, her money, and Gil is kind of blown away. Like he's awestruck, like his jaw hit the floor. He's like, shit, she got a lot of money. They never said how much, but apparently, yeah, she spends a lot, but apparently she has a lot too. She's saving a lot of money. Enough money to where it befuddled Gil. Shit. And then they looked at Gil, and Gil had the shady, shiesty, I'm broke kind of shit going on. But he didn't really want to talk about it. Like, he showed how much he had saving, and Mirla was like, that ain't shit. And then he showed, like, he has an account in Colombia. He has money in Colombia. And the thing is with Gil is that I don't understand why. It seems like he's taking care of his mom. He's sending money back to Colombia to take care of his mom. But he kind of didn't want to say that. That's what he's doing. So he was just saying like, oh, I just have this money in Colombia that we can't use. We can't touch it. It's there. And Mirla was like, what? I'm like, dude, just tell her I'm taking care of my mom in Colombia. I'm sending her money. Like, that's so much easier than whatever this shit he's trying to say. Because that's something immigrants do too. They send money back home. He said he's trying to retire his mom. I think that's what he said. He's put in a retirement home or something he was doing with her. But he didn't want to just say like, I'm taking, like, my money, most of my money is going to my mom to take care of her in Colombia. I don't know why he didn't just come out and say that. That'd have been so much easier to explain. And I'm pretty sure Mirla would have understood it. She might not would have liked it. But saying that, well, my money is in Colombia and it can't be touched, that's stupid. That doesn't make any sense. So I would rather her not understand it than her to think I'm a fucking idiot. And he's talking about his 401k, his savings. He was just trying, the 401k has nothing to do with your savings. So, and Mirla knew it. She was looking at him like, you full of shit. Him trying to lie about his money made him look worse. Especially to Mirla. If you broke, man, just say, yeah, I'm broke. I ain't got no money. Like, if you just tell her, like, you got it better than me, that would probably make her feel really good. Instead of you trying to make excuses to why, you just be like, hey, shit, I ain't got it like you. So I think Gil was fucking dumb on that shit. Later he talks to Mirla. He tells them about what happened at the guys' night with the guys dinner with Johnny. I'll get into that later with Johnny. And Mirla says, hey, I want to talk to your mom. So he FaceTimes his mom in Colombia, and she's sweet. She's like, oh, it's nice to meet you. You're so sweet. You're so beautiful. All that good stuff that, of course, she's going to say is the first time ever meeting her, because she didn't get a chance to go to the wedding because she was in Colombia. And Mirla wanted to meet his mom, wanted to talk to his mom. And, I like Mirla and Gil. I like them. Like, when I first saw that matching, I thought that it was the most craziest shit I ever saw. But in this episode, Mirla says that, yeah, we're so different, but our back and forth dynamic is really good. And it is. They give and take with each other, and it's so playful. At the housewarming party, one of Gil's friends asked have they had a fight, and they were like, no, we haven't had a fight. Because they haven't had a fight. They haven't had an argument or anything. They haven't gotten into it nearly as much at all compared to the other couples. They have all... Mirla and Gil have the less problems than anybody else, which is shocking. Well, I think Brett and Ryan get along pretty good too. But his friend was like, I know. Because she was like, why do you know that? She's like, because Gil's not going to argue with anybody. And she's like, I get the impression from you, even though I just met you, that you're not somebody that's going to sit up and argue and yell and get into it with somebody. So I'm pretty sure y'all probably, even though you're so different and so opposite, you probably actually are getting along very well because you have the same kind of temperament. Where he's not a screamer and she's not a screamer. He's not confrontational and she's not confrontational. He doesn't argue, she doesn't argue. They don't compromise, but they're not unreasonable either. And Mirla says she's not compromised. And it bothers Gil. That's the thing that bothers Gil, is that even though he doesn't want her to change anything or do it, he hasn't asked her to do anything different. he said it's just the fact that you won't. Like, you just completely dismiss it out of hand. Even though I don't want you to do anything different, I don't want you to change. The fact that you just say I will never change, he said that is what the problem is. Not that you aren't, it's just that you say you never will. I don't even want you to be different, but if you need to, if it comes up, you do something different, you're just not gonna do it. And Marilyn was even like, yeah, I understand what you're saying, that the never thing is the problem, but I'm still not gonna change. I understand the problem. I'm not gonna do it. So I don't think that's true, because sometimes you have to. Not even if you're married, but just in life in general. Something you just can't do all the time. I think she's just being stubborn because they're pushing it, and he's poking her. She's changed. She's fighting it harder. But I think if push comes to shove, I don't think she's as strongly into that. I think for some stuff she is, like how she spends her money. She's like, I'm going to spend my money if I want to. But I think other stuff, even the dog. She doesn't like dogs, but she doesn't hate dogs. So she's tolerating Hype, and she's getting. And Hype is the most inaccurately named ass dog ever. He doesn't do shit, for like I said. He just lay down. He doesn't do anything. Hype is not very hype. Hype is very, very lazy. And Mirla, but she doesn't hate dogs, so that's a good thing. Even though she doesn't want one, she'll put up with it, That's what I mean. She says she's an introvert, which makes sense, that the way she acts, the way she does things, she's like, I don't go out. She doesn't do a lot of things. She dresses nice, but she dresses nice mostly for her. It's not for anybody else. So, and she does things, that she wants to do. So I get her on that. They're just surprising. They're shocking me every day. I still think they're not going to make it at all. They're just not. But they're going to be probably really good friends after this. And they might hook up again sometime later, but they're not going to stay married. No. And Gil puts that out there. But see, the thing is, Gil says, if you don't kiss me, I'm going to divorce you. She is probably petty enough to try that. Even though she does like him. She said, like, I like him. And he likes her. Your guess is as good as mine on how this is going to fucking go. But they're not going to make it. At all. Next is Brett and Ryan. They didn't do shit all this episode. They must be getting along very well, because they're not even featured. They're not even part of the goddamn show. I think Ryan worked out with his friend. Brett met with her friend. Brett likes him a lot. He doesn't really he likes her, but he doesn't really. Her personality and her so high strung gets on his nerves. He doesn't like it, but he likes everything else about her. But he doesn't like how high strung and how unwilling to do stuff she is, how unadventurous she is. And now she tells her friend that she hates doing all this stuff, but she's doing it, and she actually likes it. She doesn't want to do it. She would never volunteer to do it, but she's doing it because he's asked it. She likes it. So she's getting a kick out of their opposition, how much they opposite each other, and he is like not. I don't think they're going to make it. And I think because Ryan wants intimacy and Brett wants intimacy, but for some reason Brett is really pulling back. She wants him. She's very open about how much she wants him to everybody else except him. So they had a housewarming party. They had the guys meet up. The thing with the guys dinner with Ryan was that every problem the other guy said, he was like, me too. So he's having the same issues that the other people are having, but he's not making as big a deal out of it. So he's keeping it in so much that you wouldn't even notice that he's having problems. He seems very level-headed, even in high, stressful situations. That's a good trait to have, really. But I can't think of anything else with those two. They're barely even part of the show. They maybe had 2 minutes, the whole thing. And it was just them talking. Like, I can't remember that housewarming party at all. Except she likes him, and he is like kind of iffy with her. He likes her, but he doesn't know if he wants to be with her. It's pretty much how it looks like. Next couple is Johnny and Bao, and they are a complete, full-blown shit show. I would have thought that it would have been Marilyn Gill or somebody, or Michaela and Zack. Johnny and Bao are just fucked. Bao talks to her friend, and she tells her friend, like, I think Johnny is about to give up, about to run off. And he is. Johnny is ready to... how do I say this? Johnny does not like Bao. He's not attracted to her. He said that at the guys' dinner when they were talking. He said that, he sees Bao as a friend. And Bao, like, I feel that energy. He is attracted to her physically, but not her personality. That's when Ryan was like, yep, I with you on that. A physical attraction, no personality attraction. He said that he doesn't know if he even wants to be married because it's not going how he envisioned it. The way he envisioned it in his mind, it was going a certain way. The way it's actually going a different from that, and he doesn't know if he likes that or wants that. Based on how he talks and the way he acts, I think Johnny wanted a porn star. I think he wanted somebody that looked great, had sex with him nonstop, and did whatever he said. He wanted an idiot, moron, sex-loving porn star. And Bao is none of that. Johnny is a victim of technology. He has done too much online dating. He constantly says he just would have just swipe. He just look up porn. He has been doing too much online dating and watching too much porn that is giving him this ridiculous fantasy of what women are like and what they want and what relationships would be. None of that's real. None of it's real. Porn is the biggest fantasy ever. And if that's all you ever watch and think about and know, you're fucked. Because Johnny, I didn't know he had been single for 8 years. He had been in a relationship for 8 years. I must have forgot that. And all he's had is online dating where he admits he went from one to the other. One like just up next girl, up next girl, up next girl. When he saw anything that was a problem, no matter how small it was, and he just watched porn. His brain is fucked. There's nowhere to go from here. And he's breaking down at the dinner because it's not going like he fantasized it would go. That's on him for having a shitty fantasy. That's not on Bao. None of his problems are Bao's fault. And Pastor Cal said last episode, this is Johnny's fault. This shit's on Johnny. It's not on Bao. Bao hasn't done anything. Bao has been a great wife. She's been open. She's been honest. And she's been direct with him. He is the one that's being a piece of shit. And he realizes that he's the fucking problem. He has this big breakdown about during the confessional with the camera that, he said he's fucked. And now, he's married to Bao, so now Bao's fucked because he doesn't know if he was even ready to be married. He wanted to do it, but he's not in that space to do it. He's not ready to do it. He's crying his ass off. Jose comes and talks to him like, hey, is everything all good? And he starts fucking making out with Jose. He's crying so goddamn hard. And it's just like, Johnny's fucked up. He really is. Johnny has no business. Johnny would never be married to anybody. He'll never be in a relationship with anybody because he's got his view of it is just off. What he thinks is going to be is off. He wants it to be a certain way that he saw or that he envisioned or that he fantasizes of, and there's no way because real people are real people and they do real shit. This make-believe world that he has ain't gonna work. And he goes and he talks about, and I give him this much, and he tells Bao he doesn't think he's ready to be married. He's like, he feels bad because she's all in and he's not all in. He's barely trying. He's honestly ready to go. But he can't because he's married to her. Because he's married to her. And she's not buck naked wearing an apron. So he doesn't like that. Johnny has problems. At the homecoming party, he's open to her friends and family. Like, I'm not into this. He's like, I'm ready to go. And it was so sad because Bao was talking and she said that she feels like she's 100% in. She said, I feel like Johnny is 90% in. And then they cut screen to Johnny saying that I'm 65% in. So that's a big difference between what she thinks and what he thinks. And I believe that the reality is that it's even less than 65. I think he's only here. Johnny's only still there because of the cameras. If this wasn't being filmed, he would have been fucking gone. It would have been. He'd had it annulled the next day. He's just hanging around for the cameras. I'm pretty sure Johnny is back on dating apps right now, looking for somebody else. Because that's all he knows. And I give him that much. He is at least telling Bao. And Bao is being a good wife. She actually likes him. He's not going to find better than her because she's putting up with this shit. Anybody else would have whooped his ass. Bao actually likes him and wants to be with him and wants this to go somewhere. Because she said, I can understand why we were matched. But that was based on what she knew of Johnny before. What she's starting to learn about him now, I'm sure she would feel different. Because Johnny ain't worth a fuck. And at the meetup with the dinner with the guys, Johnny basically just like he doesn't want to be with her. And he's telling her at the end, he's like, I don't really want to be with you. And she's like, well, I'm going to stick here with you. She's being a very good wife and sticking there, and Johnny is being a very shitty husband. And he's being his dad. He's trying to find the quickest way out of here. Because he doesn't want to do this. Because he's not getting sex how he wants, when he wants, and Bao isn't doing what he tells her to do. I don't think the fact that she doesn't shower all the time has anything to do with it. She could take 10 showers a day. Johnny wouldn't be happy. He would find something to nitpick on because he's finding any little small thing to make a big deal out of. He's looking for shit to complain about. And Bao can do that, but she's not. Johnny ain't worth a damn. And I wouldn't have thought that when it started. I thought they would have been too alike and they would have bumped heads. Not that he would have been just a piece of shit. And he thinks he's cooler than he actually is. He thinks he's some cool, rich Asian, and he is not that. So I don't think any of the couples are going to make it. I think Marilyn and Gil are a sleeper that they might make it, but they not because of finances. Marilyn is, I think she will waver on everything except money. I really do. I think she's not going to waver on that at all. She's going to spend her money how she wants to. And she'll be goddamned if you tell her anything. And I think she's getting sick of Gil taking shots at her. And Gil does need to ease up on that. Because it was fun when they were going back and forth. But now she's stopped. She's not really doing that. She's not making fun of his broke ass. He's making fun of her because she's rich. But she's not making fun of him because he's poor. She makes fun of the fact that he always making fun of her. And if she went in on him by him not having any money, his feelings would get hurt. I think Gil needs to stop. He needs to stop all that bullshit. Because I think Mira does like him. Rachel and Jose needs to stop. But he's not. He still creeps me out. There's something going on with that guy. because he's starting to be embarrassing, especially to Rachel. He always talks about his money and what he has and what he's got, and nobody likes that. Nobody, even his own family, is sick of that. And Brett and Ryan, I have no fucking clue what's going on with them. They don't. He doesn't like her. He's less open with it than Bao is. I mean Johnny. Ryan is less open than Johnny. Ryan just won't come out and say, "I don't like you." And Johnny is basically coming out saying, like, "Yeah, I'm ready to go." Shit. And he's telling, like, to Bao's face. And Brian's not doing that. Ryan feels just like Johnny does, but Ryan doesn't want to say it. I think Ryan wants to have sex first, then he'll say it. But that's how I feel, man. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Leave your thoughts down below. Tell me if I'm not getting anything right, or I'm looking at it wrong. I'm sorry if this seems kind of rushed, or I'm not feeling that well. So I really am kind of tired. I've been working my ass off. So. Well, I'll catch you next time, y'all. Hey, peace.